everybody, Tashi here from Pixie Mommy's Reborns. Welcome back, and to everyone new, hello and welcome. So I have the new baby here today, and he's gonna get his first bottle with you all. What do you think? I'm gonna introduce him to those of you that have not seen him yet or didn't see the box opening. This is Tumelo. He is the Denver Rose Sculpt by Marita Winters, and his artist is Kymberlee's Cocoon, one of my favorite artists. So he's still in his little tiny tatty PJs that I put him in for his first night home on Saturday. So look at these little tiny feetsies. I'm wondering, should I take him out of these? Yeah, you know what? He's got the little matching onesie on underneath, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this off of him so you all can see more of him, you know, and appreciate his sculpt a bit. I always like that. I don't know about you guys, but I always enjoy when you know, somebody's doing like a feeding video or just even holding the baby, that like the more of the baby I can see, of the sculpt and stuff, like I enjoy that. It's always fun to see the more of the baby. And of course it's getting to be kind of really winter where it's gonna look silly having them not wrapped up, but it's warm up here. So even though it is definitely chilly out. Look at these feetsies. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's such a precious sculpt. So you know what oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys can totally see what I'm seeing here, but oh my goodness. He is just so precious. Let me hold him up for you. Look at that face. Isn't he just the sweetest thing? You are just the sweetest thing. Oh, am I loving him so much. So I have his bottle that Kymberlee sent, the Born Free bottle. Which is really cool. It's one I don't have, and I enjoy the different types and shapes of bottles. So we're just gonna, I do not normally use bibs for my baby, so he's a tiny one. We're just gonna use this little washcloth so that he doesn't dribble. And we're gonna see how he takes this bottle. Yes, we are. Yeah, so let's see. We gotta push that in. And let's see how this does against his face. Oh yeah, perfect. You guys see? See how it all goes down into the... Now this is a small bottle, so for preemie or newborn, it's a 2-ounce bottle, and it measures by the... I don't know if that's by the, I'm not even sure. Like it measures by the ounce, but then it also measures less. I'll show you all when I burp him what I'm talking about. So for, you know, a tiny baby that you're keeping track of, you know, maybe a tiny baby that's eating less than an ounce, and you're keeping very close tabs on how much that baby is eating. This bottle is certainly good for measurement. The nipple is, I would say, I mean, obviously I'm not trying it on a real baby to know about gas and stuff like that, but it's certainly a nice, soft, you know, feeling, and is definitely more of like a breast, you know, shaped bottle. So perhaps a breastfed baby would do well going on to something like this. Just guessing. And of course, none of that matters with the Reborn dolls, right? Just chatting. But so anyway, I thought I would chat a little bit. I ended off in my last video which was just showing some details of him, although it was night, and just showing the things that came in his box opening and his folder and his photos and all that. So I started talking about what makes a baby extra special to a collector. And I think most of you all know what I'm talking about. If you've been in the hobby for probably any amount of time, you probably realize what I'm talking about, like that when they're just absolute magic. When they're a baby that is going to stay a really long time or even forever. Even though we never say forever here, something that I learned, because I used to see that in the beginning too. Oh no, that's just not me. That would never change. I would never let a baby go. That, I just, felt differently. And you hear other collectors that have maybe been here for 6 months or a year or 2 years or more, 10 years, 20 years, whatever. And you hear people saying, oh, that's taboo. Never say forever, baby. And oh, you'll learn. And I just kind of we all probably did, just poo-pooed it and said, well, everyone's different. And I'm just going to be a forever baby kind of person. And well, that changed quickly as I got going. And I realized that choosing the sculpts that were right for me were important. And it's such an intricate, complicated process that goes on in a collector's head as to their personal preferences and what makes your heart sing and ping, and we're all totally different. I mean, I have had some absolutely incredibly amazing babies in my nursery that, the art was amazing. The painting was amazing. The rooting was amazing. Just gorgeous, gorgeous babies that I don't regret having. And I'm so happy I got to experience those artists' works and those sculpts. But they weren't the right babies for me in that I didn't have, there's this little extra push, there's this little extra actual magic that are in the ones that become very sentimental and very special to us. And that can be a whole big combination of things. It can be, of course, the art and the realism. It can be the sculpt. It can be the artist. It can be the connection we perhaps have with the artist. And I'm not talking about friendship. I'm just talking about, if we just really admire the artist and the people that they are, that the love that goes into their babies, that sort of thing. And I know all artists pour their hearts and their loves into their dolls. Of course they do. I'm just talking about for everybody's personality is different. And just in friendships and things, there are certain people that just click and gel together, and there are certain people that don't, and things like that. So, there may be an artist that when you get a baby from them, that baby is extra special, for not only the art, but for the artists themselves, if that makes sense. And then it has to be, so I'll give you all an example of Kymberlee's Cocoon. Now, I let one of her babies go. It was really, really, really hard because, usually her babies, I may have been the first one ever to sell one of her babies. I don't know, because you just don't see them up for adoption, for sale. I don't, I think that, that's a rare occurrence, but I was going really fast in more or less the beginning of my collecting, and I'm still, in a certain sense, a beginner. It's only, 2 years that I've been here on YouTube, and maybe just about 3 years in collecting, if that, maybe not even, maybe 2.5, something like that. So, one baby, which was Manish, she was the Gabby Gale sculpt. I mean, he's such a stunning, amazing, amazing baby. But I realized as I went along that I prefer the little tiny wee ones. And, I have Shay, my Maisie sculpt, that's a little bit bigger of a baby. And I like to have a toddler, Liam, in my collection. But as far as like the in-between kind of sizes, it's just not for me. I just like the little, preemies and small newborns. Now, with that being said, if this hobby did not cost a whole lot of money the way that it does, would I make room and keep a doll in my collection on a shelf? Of course, but as collectors, we also have to weigh out the cost to us, and that's, it's, unless you are, that comfortable in life, and I'm sure there are a few people that are, but not many. Most of us are just pretty average people, and it's a lot. This is a lot for us. And, we often will buy with our hearts. And I know I've done it myself. I've, overextended myself. And anyway, I don't want to go that way with it, but I'm just saying that plays a factor into it. I have another baby, a little girl from Kymberlee. That was my second baby that, at that time I was new. I wasn't looking at the sculpts really at all to know, to really know my preferences and sculpts and stuff. And the more that I go along, I realize that the babies that I have and the sculpts that I have really have to be like sculpts that I'm just like really, really, really drawn to and want, because there's only so much space and there's only so much funds. So that plays a part. But I feel like, look at him. I don't think he's going to drink anymore. He is just sound asleep. Let's see. Let me see if I could show you how this is measured. Can you all see how the little lines, I don't know. Oh, milliliters. Okay. It's in milliliters and ounces. So it goes up to 2 ounces. And then the other side, you probably can't see squat, but the other side is millimeters. It goes up to 60 millimeters, which is 2 ounces. So if you have a baby that is, that you're really, really keeping track of what they are drinking, in that way, because perhaps they're, preemie, tiny, every milliliter counts. You want to write that down and, know exactly what the baby's taking. So, this is a great bottle. Now, I'm sure all the bottles do that. I don't pay attention to that sort of stuff. Well, this old-fashioned glass bottle, yeah, it doesn't say millimeters, but I'm guessing that goes up to 240 millimeters, which is 8 ounces. So they all do, even the glass even flow. Well, you know what, I don't think this is an old bottle. It's just a glass even flow. It's not a vintage, but I love the way the glass bottles look, though. But anyway, this is a little 2 ounce bottle. So it just holds 2 ounces, which is actually the same, I think, as this little tiny preemie Dr. Brown. No, that's not possible. What does this Dr. Brown's hold? 5 millimeters, 15 milliliters, 20 milliliters. So Yeah, this is much less. This is a little wee one. But this is great for preemie or newborn, because when they're newborn, they're still taken under 2 ounces. I think my kids in the nursery, they started out, they were like definitely less than an ounce, as I remember. But anyways, so that's a bit more the way I could explain, certainly for me, what makes a baby special to me. Does everybody feel that way? I obviously don't know. I'm not in other collectors' heads, but I think so. I really do. I think that the babies that are more keepers or stay a long time, or that we're just, you can just tell, you can just see when a mommy is just like that extra, like, special joy. I can see. That's a good question for all of you. Can you all tell when a new reborn mommy is just like excited and loves the baby, of course, because it's new and it's beautiful and the art is gorgeous, but it's not that, like, there's that extra something isn't there. You can tell. Because I know in my own self, I can usually tell right away. I can usually tell when I'm buying the baby, because I'll buy considering resale value and things like that, whereas certain babies I buy and the resale value is not crossing my mind and things like that. There's a difference. So because you have to be wise in that way if you do buy and sell, because otherwise, I know I've certainly learned some very expensive lessons. You can take some serious losses here if you're not paying attention. And some of it's luck, and some of it's just the right person coming along at the right time for the baby. But some of that can be calculated. You can tell what artists' work are going for on the second market, and some dolls just people are lined up for and have waiting lists for, and you have no problem. And it just depends. But when there's a baby so special, and that's something I really just don't think about. So that tells me right there. And also, if I see a baby and I'm questioning it and kind of like not sure, and maybe looking at several, and maybe asking friends, well, what do you think of this baby, what do you think of that baby? Not that those babies can't come and wind up being really special, because that can happen, because you never really know until you get them home in your arms. Some can surprise you. But I think for the most part, we probably just do know. So when you see a baby upon sight, where you're just like, that's my baby, no question, the baby just jumps out at you and says, I'm yours, that's usually what, we know. So anyways, just something to talk about. You all can comment and let me know what makes a baby extra special to you. Do you have certain favorite artists? Do you have certain artists that all of their babies stay? Do you buy and sell? Do you keep all your babies? Now, some collectors, every baby stays. There are people who collect and just keep adding to their collection, and they've got, lots, even hundreds of reborn dolls. It happens through the years. If you're keeping every doll that you have, you're accumulating. I don't have the space or the money to do that. And I wouldn't have the time either. I'm overwhelmed just with the amount that I have here now, and I try to keep my numbers down, so and part of that is so that I have room to grow, collections are meant to grow, and I don't want to be maxed out right now at the beginning of collecting. So I still have to make sure that, if I'm buying, at a more fast pace, that I am letting some go. So anyways, and I can certainly say that this little boob, I wanted to be easy because I have some Vaseline on my lips, so I didn't want to I didn't want to smooch that all over him. But look at him. Oh my goodness. As I'm sure you all can probably see, this is a very special little bub to me. My little Tumelo. And he looks so cute with Asir. To those of you new, Asir is another one of my Kymberlee's Cocoon babies, and he is extremely special to me, and he defies the rule of never say forever. He is technically exempt from my actual collection. He will never leave. He belongs to me. All other babies, I could say, even ones that I feel that attached to and love that much, I never want to tell you all forever, because I have learned, and I see as I went along in collecting, that things change. And you never know what is going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and you never know if your own situation in life is going to change and you don't have a choice or something like that. I have no idea. That's, you know what I'm saying? So that that I'm sure can play a part in people's lives and things too. So anyways, but there are definitely several babies here that would be very, very difficult for me to let go. I right now, I couldn't even dream of it. So, but you never know. You never know what's going to happen in the future. But yeah, this guy is really special. And Asir is just become... He's behind me. I could grab him for a second. Well, you know what? You all have seen Asir. I'm sure many of you. If you haven't, you'll have to go look through my videos and see who Asir is. But anyways, all right, I'm going to let y'all go because I'm trying to not max out half-hour videos every time. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like button and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of little Tumelo and the rest of my collection, be sure and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video, and so you receive invites to my live streams. All right, everyone, thanks for joining me for Tumelo's first feeding. He didn't eat much. He's very sleepy, but that's okay. We'll try again in a little bit. Doesn't he look so amazing? Oh my gosh, I love this baby so much. I could just eat him up. All right, everyone. Until next time, God bless.